So, snapped the quadricep tendon, ripped it right off my knee inside. I heard it go, you know, and I crawled back to the house backwards.
Oh my!
Because there's nobody, you know, there's nobody around.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the rest is history. But because of my sugar diabetes and stuff, it wasn't healing. It kept re-tearing. Hopefully it's going to hold this time.
Yeah.
Because I've got all kinds of wires. Lord knows what.
Holding everything together.
Yeah, holding, yeah. So, you know, between that and everything else I've got wrong with me, so. Oh, dear.
How long you been playing the tuba?
How long have I been playing the tuba? Since I was about 7 or 8 years old.
Oh wow!
Yep, and I played drums because my grandfather, both grandfathers were drummers, you know, percussionists, and played around bands and things here. You know, the whole family's musical. You know, the mother played piano and organ in the church over here and various other, you know, pipe organs in churches and what have you. And my dad played, you know, not professionally, but just, you know, piano and different things. And I've got various other cousins and what have you. They played, you know, bands. I had a cousin played in the Air Force band, Army band, years of World War II era, you know. And he played right up until he was 90. He just passed away, you know. Played tuba. Originally it was baritone horn, but yeah, he played tuba right up until he was 90. Yeah. And, you know, so I've been, we do it. You know, I've done circus bands, German bands, you name it.
Really?
Symphony orchestras, yeah. You know, over the years. You know, but mostly now I just play with 2 groups. I play with this one, and I play with one in Providence. I've been, you know, we're all Portuguese fellas. We played Saturday night. They came down and picked me up. And that's actually the first time, that and last Monday, I went up, my buddy's coming tonight, another rehearsal, the last rehearsal. And that's the first time I played in quite a while. Wow. So they said, you know, about time we took you out of the house and blow the dust off you, you know? Is that what you expected it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If you want to get it, go ahead.
No, I just...
Is that what you thought it was going to be? Don't mind the police scanner. I'm nosy. I like to know what's going on around here.
I know that feeling.
How'd you like to do parades with that thing? I have for a good long time.
Well, that's what I'm planning on doing. I got a couple coming up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the thing is huge.
Isn't that something? People ask me, they say to me, how did you carry that? I said, well, I was a lot better shape than I am now, you know. But that thing, it plays like velvet. I mean,
really?
You could rattle the windows out of something. You know, it's one of those, it's almost like a pipe organ. You can play that thing right down, you know, so I mean, you'll feel it rather than hear it, you know. And one thing about these, Ian, I don't know if you're familiar with them, the slides up to this end work.
Oh,
as well as
the top slides.
All of them work.
Oh, good. Yeah, on my King, Joe Summersburg converted the upper loop to a top slide.
Yep, but these, I mean, they're built that way, because the other one I've got downstairs that's the gold one. And that's seen a little worse use. I've been in a circus band, and I guess, but yeah, the valves are good on it, you know. Harvey went all over this thing.
Yeah, I saw the early pictures.
Yeah, he went all over this thing when he had it. Wow. And he does a nice job anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Thing is big.
Sort of, if that thing was painted white, he'd look like a dandelion.
Yeah, exactly.
Big, tall, skinny guy with this big puff on the, you know. Now, I don't know how many of those things you're going to want.
No, usually 2's about good.
Yeah. You know, I mean, that's normally what I'd use. Sometimes it depends. You know, what's funny? Depending if I put my pad on there, I used to have a tie-on pad my mom made me years ago, and if I was going to walk along parade, I'd put a pad on.
Yeah.
You know, needless to say. And sometimes you'd only need 1. Sometimes you'd only need 2, and depending on how flat or sharp the band is you're playing with too. You know.
Well, I usually play 30% sharp with that loud mouth.
Yeah.
It's just so shallow.
So that might, but I used to like it because sometimes, you know, depending, I could pull, you could fine tune. It was almost like playing a regular concert bass.
Yeah.
Because everything, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, they all move. They all move.
That is just a huge third slide.
Isn't that something? Yeah, and the next one over moves. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's all, you've got a lot of options, is what I'm saying, as far as the tuning end of it.
All right, now is this in normal pitch or low pitch?
Normal.
Normal 440.
Far as I'm found, yeah. Far as I've always found,
Right.
yeah.
Wow. All right, look at that.
You know, and you know, as they say, give her a whirl. Wow. I used to tell, there was a young fellow I let try it one time, young high school boy.
Yeah.
And he was enthralled with this thing. And I said to him, well, just be careful with it. And he looks at me, he said, well, no, I won't dent it. I said, that's not what I'm talking about. I said, you push the first valve down, slide it, I suck you in the mouthpiece. You know? I said, you see a pair of shoes hanging out of the mouth. And he laughed, you know. I laid it down there one time. Somebody took a picture of somebody's little toddler was like crawling in the bell.
Really?
And I said to the lady, she said, oh, look at that. And they're taking pictures. I said, well, just be careful. A kid crawled in there last week. I haven't seen him since. You know. Oh, dear. Does it take more wind than you thought it would? Or?
Well, let me try my other mouthpiece.
Yeah.
We're used to
That thing is fascinating. I mean, that's, talk about wide open. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just,
it takes a lot more air than like a Hellebird.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah, I got the original one over there. There's a real one. Right,
Whoa.
that's that second one over, that one. That's, if you want to look at, I mean, of course it's, that's a real one. That's one my teacher gave me.
that's crazy.
That's one he used to play all over the symphony orchestras. That's the ones that they go nuts for on eBay,
Yeah.
you know?
I saw one of those on like $400 for one of those.
Something like that. Yeah, this is just how he gave it to me. You know, I mean, not all
Well,
tarnished,
yeah.
but I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, it's in original shape, and
Wow.
I showed it, well, what's his name, a friend of mine, Mike Roylance, who plays with the Boston Symphony, you know, and he's into all these things.
Right.
And I showed it to him one time, and he goes, oh, he says, if you ever want to get rid of that, I'll buy it off you. I said, I said to him, I was thinking, make a good sinker for fishing. You know, and he's going, what? What? He's going, I said, they used to have it on the desk. I used to put pens and pencils in it. I said, it made a good holder, you know. And he's going, no, no. He says, they go nuts with it. I said, I know they do. I said, they jack the prices up. Thank you. I says, on those things, I said, and
Wow.
you know, and the funny part, I can use it, but I've never found it to be one of my favorites.
Yeah,
There's something about, I don't know, because I got thick lips anyway, and I like a rounded
yeah.
rim.
That's,
you know,
that's a really sharp one.
it is, and
Too
kinda,
flat,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is, and it kind of gives me a red mark on it, you know. So I never really found it comfortable, you know.
You should look into the stainless steel versions.
Really?
Yeah, like this one's stainless steel, and like I used to use the Hellebird,
Yes.
and I can only play like an hour and a half, 2 hours at most. And with stainless steel, I can play hours on end.
That's what.
There's like,
what's his buddy that's got that loud? He says to me, "Well, I played a rehearsal with it one night, you know." And I said, "You know what? It's comfortable. It's like cushioned. I mean, it felt." And he's got the stainless steel one. And he says, "You want to get one of these?" I says, "Well," I says, when I was telling him, I said, "Well, I'm thinking of retiring, you know." And he's having a fit. No, no. I said, you know. I said, those things make good mailboxes and birdhouses, and you know. Forgive me, I like to fool around. I told him, I says, I was going to fill one with cement, make a boat anchor out of it, you know. And he's going, "Oh, don't do that." Yeah. Oh, bro. I love to get him going. Well, it needs a little polishing up, Ian.
well, all of them do. Wow,
But that gives them, what do they call it, class, or there's another name I'm thinking of when they say it, you know, it gives it that antique,
yeah,
you know.
the patina.
Patina, yeah. Like these guys in the orchestras, the symphony orchestras, they play these rusty looking old horns, you know. They look like they came out of a pawn shop, you know.
Yeah. Not as bad as my King though, because the King's got a small throat, about the size of a 20K, and then a really big flare on it.
Yep.
And that'll just ring on F sharp all the time.
Yeah, they get that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a much better sound than my Holton.
Is
a
it really?
lot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Much. This is great.
It roars. I mean, it's got that big, real. Oh yeah. Yeah, I used to like to do the, when they like outdoor concerts with it. You play the band, 40, 50, 60-piece band, and they're playing the old overtures and all that stuff, and like Poet and Peasant and all those old, barn burners there, and you'd get, because it would just come right up out of nowhere, I used to love that stuff. Oh dear. Well, I'm glad somebody enjoys it, because I had a lot of use out of it. I've had a lot of enjoyment with it,
Where's the serial number on this?
Right on the second valve, I believe. I think it's right in the second, right facing you. I don't know if I can get a flashlight, but.
Man, this is heavy. I mean, like, the 38K that I played wasn't nearly like this heavy.
No, because I got the 38 downstairs in a case.
Yeah.
That's the one belonged to a great uncle of mine. And we always thought that was heavy enough. And then they got, this thing, and they're going. You put them next to each other and it looks like one had a baby,
Yeah, it looks like a little E flat.
Little E flat bass.
Yeah, that thumb ring looks as though, it's like for Shrek or somebody.
Look at that. I mean, I filled it up pretty good, but
wow.
Harvey said it best. He says, you look on the bell of this thing, and the first word it says is sousaphone. And like you didn't know what you were carrying, like if you read it, it says sousaphone written right on there.
It really does.
Wow.
Then it's CG Con Limited in, Elkhart, Indiana, so I said, there's no mistaking what it is. But, he says, like you didn't know what you had.
I'm knocked out by the size of that. That's just.
Now, the next question, will that fit in your vehicle? I mean,
No.
It will.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
I made sure to check for that.
You've got other horns with you, right? You bring your
No.
other, you didn't bring them, no.
The consignment stuff that I was looking into, they were going to take a 15% fee.
They usually do.
And that's a lot for like $1,500.
Years ago, I sold a horn out of Boston, right? And it was something like that at the time. And I just said to myself, I let the deal go through, and I wasn't too happy about it because they sort of took their cut right off the top.
Yeah, yeah.
In other words, they took all the white meat and sort of left you with the leavings,
Yep.
And I says, well, I agreed to it and I signed the papers, and I figured, well, I'll go with it this time, but that'll be the last time I ever do it.
Right.
So, I figured I'll eat this, deal, and I says,
Well, yeah, fool me once, shame on.
Shame on me,
Right.
Fool me twice, and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
now, how did you come by this?
how I came by that, believe it or not, I found it on the computer.
Really?
Through Harvey Hartman, And when I originally picked it up, he said, well, I don't think we can ship this thing. I said, so I drove down to White Plains, New York, and he drove from Pennsylvania. And we met just about in the New Jersey line right there, And, yeah, this was some time ago. And, because he'd offered it for sale, nobody bought it. So I called him up, because he always has his number on there. He's a friendly enough guy to talk to, sweet guy, And so, we got talking back and forth, and he says, I says, yeah, that looks like something I'd like to play with, you know. And he's laughing.
Wow.
He says, you know, I hope you're a big enough guy to carry this thing. I mean, because he's a great big guy, you know. Yeah. And I said, well, I'm pretty good size. You know, I was knocking over 400 pounds at that time. You know, I've lost quite a bit of weight because of heart trouble and what have you, and sugar and everything. But I says, yeah. I says, well, when I got out of the car, he said, well, I guess you are. He says, you know, so I says, oh, we had no, you know, I pooped on it a little while out in like a parking lot or whatever we met in there. And he says, what do you think? Sounds good to me. Let's go home. You know, we shook hands and I said, I'll be in touch with you, you know?
I'll be darned.
So that's how it goes.
And then how'd you come on the other one?
The other one was believe it or not, Lee Stouffer.
Oh.
When he was still in the Army down in Atlanta.
Oh, in Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back to Harvey, because we used to sit and talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours some nights. Harvey'd call me up, hey, do you know of any of this? Or, you know, or I got this. Do you know anybody be interested in, you know, this? And of course, I met him a couple of different times. I had him do work for me, you know, on different horns and stuff, and ordered things through him and everything. And then he says to me, you don't know anybody who wants another jumbo, do you? And I said, well, what do you got? He says, well, Lee Stouffer's selling one. So I called him up. He says, yeah. And there again, we struck up a acquaintance, you know, well, that one we had to be boxed it up, shipped it up by train, Amtrak, and I had to go up to the city and pick that one up in the train station. Yeah. Well, the poor guys in the shipping and receiving were wondering what's in that box.
Wow.
Because it was huge. Lee says to me, he says, I'm having trouble finding a box. I guess he had to go to like an appliance store and find like a refrigerator box or something, you know, a great big massive thing. And you know, he packed it all full of the stuff, but the train was about the best because I mean they did a good job. Yeah. You know, there was no, you know, like UPS. I mean, you get the bells crushed and then this is missing and that's all smashed in and you know, it looks like a forklift went through it and that kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
And
I'm just amazed by the size. Truly. Like there's no, you truly can't tell the difference between this and like a normal sousaphone with a 24-inch bell.
No.
And then up close it's,
you know, and I mean you know, people say, oh, they're around. Well, they are, but they're rare as hen's teeth. I mean, you don't see too many of them. People say to me, how did you get 2 of them? I says, well, I says, they sort of fall into your lap. You know, it's one of those, yeah. Yeah, a young cousin of mine, he ended up buying a big Martin. Not quite as big as this, but it was the jumbo. It still had like the 3 braces on the back, you know, and all the bracing, and I mean, it was a good sized horn. And poor mother, she had a yard sale. She sold it when he went to college. Ended up getting $50 for it. She thought she did good, and then he came home from college and he had a fit. But she goes, how am I so the phone?
Well, it was sitting in your room. It wasn't doing anything, so I got rid of it. You know.
Oh Lord, I felt bad for him. I says, now what are you gonna do? Oh, I don't know. I'll come down and bum one off of you. He says, boy, did that make me mad. He says.
$50.
$50, and she thought she did well, the poor soul, you know. I said, well, you did all right, yeah. You did well, all right. Yeah, you did good. Yeah, I said, you probably could have doubled or tripled that. I said, you know, if you sold it for a music place, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty much when the internet was, I don't even know if it was up and running yet, tell you the truth. I don't even know if it had, now that I think about it, I don't think that was even on the, it was in the planning stages. Right. It hadn't really kicked off yet, so it's, you know, we were all living in the dark ages for this, you know, with letters and what have you, phone calls. That was about all we could do, you know. Oh dear. So well, you're going to march with this thing, you said.
Yep, that's the plan.
You get some good shoes, and I hope you got a good back. That's all I can tell. And I hope they don't have very long parades out there where you come from.
It's only about 1.5 miles.
Oh, that's long enough, especially if it's a hot day.
Yeah, but mid-July.
Yeah. Does it get hot out where you live?
6J.
That's downstairs.
A 36J?
Yeah.
With the front action,
It's a straight bells, the 26-inch bell. Yeah, that's the
Oh
seller.
man, you have quite a collection. Jeez.
Yeah, drag that monster out of there if you want him. Sure, you didn't come all this way to look at it, as they say, you know. Man, I'd make a dandy mailbox.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those fountain sprinklers, you know, with the front lawn. So,
Gee, that looks in really nice shape, Steve.
Is that silver?
it's
Yes.
what?
Yes. Maybe.
Oh, it's going like a lacquer, yeah.
Oh, so it is like. Oh man, this is in really nice condition.
Oh yeah, I play that, you know, quite often with the band in Providence, a concert, because we do a lot of outdoor concerts in the summer. Sometimes I put the bell forward on it too, the front bell.
Yeah, bell fronts are always good.
I like a bell front.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't like the
bell.
sound of, this is better for indoor stuff, but
Yeah.
I really don't like, I like a bell front on a horn. I really do, and people say, oh, you're old fashioned, but to me, I can, you know, you can really get it out over the band, especially outdoor concerts.
Oh,
Or in a
yeah.
band shell, you know. You can
Right.
really, and you don't have to work as hard because the sound is doing what the thing was designed to do, go out over the band, you know. It's like going to Christmas, isn't it?
No, I really like this, the position of the valves. I would have never have guessed that would have been so comfortable.
Yeah. Now, you've played one of them before, right? No?
No, I played the 21J, the upright.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that downstairs too. Well, he asked, I mean.
Oh, mouthpiece. Oh, I really like the sound of cans. I really do.
I do. You know, no pun intended, I'm an old con man, you know?
Yeah. That's a good one.
I'm an old con man myself. You know? I suppose because years ago, C.G. Kahn had a Boston office. They had a big building up there in a store.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, Kings weren't that prominent around here. You know, as far as the basses and things. They were trumpets and trombones and like that, some baritone or French horns and things. But the big horns, you know, like these,
Well-
they weren't as prominent up in this area. It was mostly C.G. Kahn.
Well, Kahn made a lot more of the 6/4 size
Yeah.
than King, because King stopped. I mean, they only made the giant King rotary.
Rotaries.
That was
Yeah.
really the only ones that they made.
Right,
And then everything else was their kind of 4/4 style.
right, right. There was a couple of fellas around here that had one was this, like the 4 in a line, had like a 24 or 25-inch bell, was an upright silver horn, an older horn, you know.
Oh yeah.
He
upright.
played that. He
Yeah.
let me try it. It was all right, you know, but it still couldn't hold a match to these
Yeah.
things, you know, as far as projection and there again, that big sound, you know. Yeah, not too bad for the age of it.
How old is this one? 30 something.
Oh, at least the 30s, at least. This ain't the original Pentecost, that's downstairs, but I swap the bells back and forth, you know, depending on.
If I could have found one of these before.
Oh,
He's not-
keep my number.
He's not. We paid a lot for that one.
The silver one, the Holton, yeah. Yeah.
That was.
Now there again, they weren't that popular up in this neck of the woods either. Isn't that funny? I mean, there was a few Holton sousaphones around, and there again, trumpets and trombones and things, but
Holton really wasn't that big of a company though.
I don't know. I don't think they were. They're distributed, and even York.
Yeah.
We didn't see an awful lot of York things up in this area either. You know, it's as well as people brag about them. You know.
Yeah.
And I think the company had gone out of business. I mean, before anybody really.
Yeah, went out. Their main them,
yeah.
They went out of in I think the late '40s, right around after the
After the war. After
yeah.
the war, yeah.
And then they were bought out by someone else.
Right. Right.
This
That's all right. It's only the table. Yeah. It's like going to Disney World, isn't it?
It really is.
Oh dear. I haven't seen anybody that fascinated in a long time.
Well,
usually they stand there and go, "What is that?" They never saw one before.
Well, like I was explaining to my dad on the way down here, what I'm trying to do eventually in life is to make sousaphones with the upright and the forward bell, but get it to where a design that is usable by schools. They don't have to purchase both instruments.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm going
I
for.
am kind of glad that they've gone back to using them, because for a while everything was these
the bugles.
those bugle things,
Yeah.
and I mean I never got into that. I've tried them a couple of times, but to me they're awkward.
Yeah, they're kind of weird to hold.
It's like balancing something on your shoulder, and No.
It does give a cool sound though. It gives like
Probably.
a normal tuba sound, but
I'd rather sit down and play it, but I mean,
Well,
most of these guys, they're marching.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like at least these things. If you're in a a long parade, you can take it off and put it over on the other shoulder.
yeah.
Or kind of like hang it around your neck, change position with it.
Mm-hmm.
But those things, I mean, it's either here or you're holding it. Or even like if you march, I've marched with this a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you've got a strap.
Yeah.
You've got something, so your hands are free. You don't have to. You're not clutching this thing all the time. And it's.
That really is quite the instrument, I must say.
I play that probably more often than some of the other, as far as a concert tuba, because this thing is just, it's just anything you want it to do.
Yeah.
And then of course the brass band, I use these are the two Bessons over here. And, this has been played. He played the devil out of that thing.
Wow.
That's all the original case, other than the poor handle. I've got that around here, but the old leather strapped handles, and they take a notion to. It broke off, so I put rope on it for the time being. But
Yeah, so that's what I need in case.
this came with it. Yeah. This was the original. Yeah. And what I used to do when I traveled with these, I think I told you, I used to take like an old quilt or something like that, and I'd wrap it all around, even over the top of the bell, and even foam rubber sometimes, or whatever you could get, just so it wouldn't bounce around too much in the car, and put something under it. And I used to just put it over it, and then throw something over that, because if you stop, get a sandwich or something, you don't want nobody looking, and that's why I bought the thing with the black windows. People say, "What do you get the dog?" Yes, sir.
No, I'm saying, Ian, Mom could probably make you.
I know.
And make a cushion. Yeah.
His mom's a really good seamstress.
Yeah, my mom was good at that stuff. She used to build me. Yeah, take it out and try it. You want a poor thing needs playing. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah, that old girl. She's seen a lot of use. And I mean, that's a big horn.
Yeah, these.
I mean, a lot bigger than the normal sousaphones.
Well, this is what the 20K replaced.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that's the one with the short valves, right?
Yeah. This is what the.
This is the. Yeah, that's right. And of course here's the.
Now is that the 24 or 26?
That's the 26.
Oh. Okay.
That's the 26-inch bell. See? With the gold.
Oh. Wow.
And then of course, in here is all your. Here's all your goodies.
That's a really good design.
So there's the, yeah, that's the 26-inch bell.
Wow.
This was the one I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they called it the sousaphone grand.
Yeah, yeah.
Con sousaphone grand. That's what they used to call it.
Those were the grand jumbos.
These were the grand jumbos.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this one.
And this has all the same dimensions as the 20K minus the short action.
Short action valve. Yeah. And they made a, I believe, a 4-valve.
Yeah, the 40K.
40Ks. Yep.
Yep.
There we go. You know. And
Wow.
there was a lady. I think she was one of the schools out your way, looking for information on all these old cons. And I wrote her a list one time. I never did get pictures to her, but I wrote her a list of everything I had, and I took the time at that time to put the serial numbers on it. And boy, what a nice letter she wrote. Letter. She wrote me back thanking me for, you know, she wanted to know where all these horns are.
Right, right.
She was trying to make a list of where all they, if they're still in existence, or were they were junked, or like in a fire or something, you know, or whatever, you know, because I know a lot of them have been destroyed, junked.
Was her name Karen?
I think so.
Yeah.
She was a professor or something at the school out
Illinois or Indiana, something like that.
out that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she wrote a
Yeah, she was. I don't know if it was a book or a thesis or what she
Yeah.
was doing, but she was trying to accumulate.
Oh, we don't.
No, if you want to see, that's the 36.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can take pictures of that if you want to.
That's.
Oh my gosh.
And that's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's.
That's in really nice shape, Steve.
Yeah, that's got the
Gosh.
26-inch bell on it.
Wow.
I take that out and use it occasionally. You know, I you know, sort of every once in a while I'll switch around and I'll say, well, I think this week I'm going to, you know, this concert I'm going to take this one. Because it all sort of, it's like driving a car, it keeps them all playing, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and that's a 20J,
20J.
and that's the bell I use on the 26J.
Oh.
Don't mind the cobwebs.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to with a regular up bell.
What, cobwebs?
Oh.
A good one.
Well,
That was a good one.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. You left that door wide open.
Oh yeah.
Go around the corner. My cousin's gonna do all this washing for me. She says, "What are you doing with all these old winter clothes?" Speaking of train set,
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
why don't you put that in the barn? That's for my beehives. I got beehives out in the back.
Oh yes, I see something over there.
Yeah, there's another one over there. I'll put the lights on as we go. Sort of like a mystery ride, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, a bit.
Wait a minute. Now that horn is a Kanzani rotary valve, double B. I don't know if you ever saw one of those.
Clockwork.
Yep,
This is big.
that's got a .900 bore on it.
0.9.
Yep,
Jeez.
yep. Let me get out the way.
Oh no, you're fine, Steve. Don't even worry about it.
I don't want to take pictures.
No, no.
Fine, you're fine.
That's fine.
That thing's got a bore like a sewer pipe on it.
Who right?
Not a bad playing horn though, I mean, considering.
Really?
Yeah. I use that a lot, like that band in the city up there. You know, like indoor concerts and stuff. Because number one, it's small, and
Yeah, the rotary valves are
aren't
quite
they,
massive.
Aren't they? Somebody said to me, "I'd like to buy that," and I said, "What are you going to do?" Well, I thought he was going to play it.
Yeah.
He's a tuba player, you know, a young kid from Boston. And he says, "I'm going to rip that horn
Oh,
apart,"
God.
and he wants to use those valves on building those thumb rotary valves on his whatever he had, some kind of a monstrosity, all bits and pieces of everything, you know. And I says, no, you're not going to tear this horn apart because that's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to take all these valves and use them on that.
For the fifth rotor.
Yeah, for a fifth thumb. I don't know how to use the doggone. Do you have one of those?
No, one of those like.
You know
No, the fifth rotor I've never. No.
No, I tried one time. We were playing in Symphony Hall. Mike Roylance was playing with us in the brass band, you know. And I said something about those big Nerschel things he's got.
Oh yeah,
He
the
plays
Nerschel
those.
Yorks, yeah.
And he had the Hirschbrunner that Chester Schmitz used to play. It's in the cupboard. So I played that. He said, "Now you want to try my horn?" I said, "Yeah." But the only thing is, they're all